Alright, now we did the PZ-38, 35T, sorry. We jumped down to the Panzer II. Oh, the good old Panzer II. I generally like the Panzer II. The cannon, rapid fire. I just absolutely love the that it's got going. Very much machine gun enthusiasts would love this. It's just fast firing. This tank, oh, fast little bugger. Fun to use. Occasionally I've had shots, I don't know how, bounce in this thing. Angles maybe? I don't know, but occasionally I've had some bounces, and I've had shots from tank destroyers accidentally bounce on this. How? I don't know. But it's happened. But I liked it. I enjoyed my time in the Panzer II. I mean, it's got that whole fast-moving light tank feel to it. Definitely. The gun also augments the speed you want with it. You're just driving around, you're trying to shoot at a target, the fast-firing gun, constant rounds shooting through the barrel. You get that, I guess, minor adrenaline rush. There are other tanks that do that better, yes, but still, it's not a bad tank at Tier 2. It could be enjoyable. Equipment readout, I would say vents. If you want to be a passive scout, I don't know why you want to. Maybe you're seeing Tier 3s or something, and I don't know. Maybe a camo net for it. Some binocs. If you're going to be hiding around in bushes and foliage and just right outside people's view range, yeah, sure. Go for that stuff. Coated optics, if you plan on moving around constantly in this thing, would be a major plus. It would behoove you. Like I said, I can't express how much I enjoyed the tank. I liked the tank. Now, one thing I do have to mention, though, with this fast-firing gun is the fact that the bloom it does every time it shoots, every time you pull that trigger, that bloom substantially gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point that you can't hit the broadside of a barn. Again, nice tank. I enjoyed my time in it. Alright, next tank. And that is the Panzer I. Alright, so what does the Panzer I have versus the Panzer II? What's better on the Panzer I than the Panzer II? In my opinion, nothing. I could not wait to get rid of this tank. I hated every second being in this tank. I did not enjoy it. I had zero memorable matches. I'll be honest, I don't even remember playing half the matches in this thing. That's how lackluster it is. I cannot suggest this to anyone at all. If you're going through Tier 1s, the only reason why you'd want, or Tier 2s, I'm sorry, the only reason why you'd want to get this tank is to get the next tank, which I'm going to cover in just a moment here, is the Panzer 1C, and oh my god, you want to talk about Fast and Furious? There you go. This thing, I don't know why you'd want to play it. I just don't. Every experience I've had in it was not worthwhile of memory, obviously, if I don't remember any of it. I didn't even speed through it. I didn't free experience through it. I played it completely through, and nah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. There might be some people out there that play it and say this thing's a great tank. Suggestions on how equipped it? The basics, you know. Vents, maybe camo net, coated optics, binocs. I mean, again, these equipment ideas to lay this thing into the tank are pretty much more expensive than the tank itself. I'll just put it that way. Anyway, with this forgettable tank, we are going to go to Tier 3. And I am going to be talking about the Panzer 1C. This thing, oh my god, this thing is hell on wheels, to say the least. This thing is incredibly fast. You can flip your tank with ease in this thing. This thing has some of the fastest speeds I have seen in any tank so far in the game. Now, other tanks challenge it, but this thing is like grease lightning. It will zip across the fields with no problems. It's fast, doesn't have that great of armor. Of course, at Tier 3, we are starting to see Tier 5s. And of course, your gun is, how do I put this? Garbage. Straight up garbage against Tier 5 tanks. There is nothing you really can do against them. Hopefully you can maybe zip around and shoot them in the engine or something, and still, it's not really going to happen, especially if you're going against KV-1s or Matildas, OI experimentals. This tank cannot battle any of these tanks. What this tank excels at is it's zooming around the battlefield at top speed, hunting down artillery. Artillery players pretty much crap themselves at the Tier 3 or 4, and sometimes even some Tier 5s when they see a platoon of these things, 3 of these tanks flying at them and just lighting them up. The whole team gets lit up and spotted with this tank. This tank is amazing on speed. I would suggest, at least how I played it, is fast and furious. Zip in and out, but be smart. Don't engage tanks head on. Go around sideways, zip around. Do not try to fight tanks, especially medium tanks, and even more so heavy tanks. They will just destroy you with one hit. And, I mean, all I can say is play it, and play it balls to the wall. Go for the speed. Zip on out there. Some people like to sit in a bush, especially at Tier 5. Sit there and just spot. Passively spot. Sit in a bush, spot people. Hopefully your team has the common sense to attack the targets that you spot, because spotting doesn't mean crap if your allies aren't going to take advantage of said spots. You share damage, or at least half the points that your allies do to targets you spot. But again, it's all dependent on teamwork. And that's the hardest thing about World of Tanks, is getting complete strangers to work together. That's the hardest aspect of the game. People say, I want to go here, I want to go there. They are off to do their own thing. They're not interested in saying, hey, let's actually pull together and try to take out the team. That's why platoons with headpieces, communicating back and forth with each other, are successful. It's because they communicate. They know, okay, he's going here, you go there, I'll go here. Let's work together, you know? And teamwork is what this game is about, and it's also the damning factor of the game. It's, if you don't have teamwork, you fall apart, and you fall apart fast. Unfortunately, that's the problem with the game as well. I mean, if you get a team that's well coordinated and have a general idea what to do, how to play, you don't stand a chance. Anyway, that's that, but stuff I would equip this tank with. Oh my god, Vents is an absolute yes. Vents, yes. Coated optics is a very strong yes. A camo net for those times you don't want to zip out and get yourself killed. Yes. Binocs are an option as well. Anything else, I really would not see the point of. If you're getting shot and you need a toolkit, life is over already. Once this tank is tracked, it's over. You're dead. You're tracked. You're done. It doesn't have the best armor. It doesn't have the most hit points. But you get hit, it's over. Straight up over. HE destroys this thing. High explosive punches holes through this thing and kills everything inside of it without an issue. Getting shot by a Panzer IV-H sporting the 10.5mm gun, you're dead. It's not even a competition. You're dead. Anyway, fast, fun tank to play. Alright, next one. The Panzer II-G. What can I say about the Panzer II-G? It's got, I would say, a little better armor. This little weird viewport thing going on over here was meant to mess with players' minds. Where is the driver? Is he positioned here, here, or here? That's all that is. They're not all viewports. They're not. So what can I say about this? This is more, as Jingles likes to put it, a thinking man's light tank. This thing is not going to be zipping around at speeds with the Panzer II being its close ally and whatnot. No, it's slower. It's slower. But this is more of a passive scout role. Absolutely passive scout. You get into a bush, you spot, and pray your teammates shoot the target. Now, one thing I do have to say is the gun on this is actually pretty good. It can punch through some tanks over its weight limit pretty much. It's got a good gun for penetration value, but the damage done is rather pitiful. It can punch through targets, yes, but the damage received to the target is, well, less than stellar. But it can, if it needs to. Dealing with tier 5s, like I said, that's another story. You fire in the tank, you're pretty much ruining your position. Passive scout all the way. Vents, absolutely. Coated optics, if you want to be on the move a little bit more, sure. Camo net, absolutely. I don't know what else to say. I mean, my time in it, frustrating, to say the least. It was frustrating. Because you had a lot of sitting around, camping in a bush, hoping to catch the enemy by surprise, by spotting them, you know? And hopefully your teammates take advantage of it. Again, this is about teamwork. This is a teamwork tank. You spot, your allies shoot. That's it. There's no ifs, buts, or buts. You're not going to go brawling with this thing. You're brawling with this tank, you're doing it wrong. You're absolutely doing it wrong. Your job, spot. That's it. Occasionally, if you see a spot to attack a target, do it. You can also be a bit of a hindrance, I would say, a distraction to an enemy. Because always, it's World of Tanks logic and knowledge at this point that a player will always go after a tank lesser than it. Why? Because it's an easier kill. And in the Panzer II-G, easy kill is very much its enemy.